Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am the Twisted Jedi, and in today's video, I am going to be giving you guys my impressions or my first thoughts on Anakin Skywalker as the newest playable hero for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, most of you guys probably would have tuned into the live stream last night, so I just want to start by saying thank you so much for all the support. We had a massive turnout for the stream, and I definitely really appreciate all of you guys, so thank you once again. Anyways, we're going to go over everything to do with Anakin, so his visuals, his sounds, his abilities, and where he's good and bad in the game, and a couple of things that need fixing as well. So we're going to jump right in because there is a little bit to cover and I don't want this video to be super long. So let's get right into it. If you are new to the channel though, make sure you subscribe because I will have a ton more videos on Anakin coming very soon. Anyways, let's start off with the visual. Anakin's appearance is kind of average in my opinion. I think the face needs a little bit of work. They kind of combined the episode 3 with the Clone Wars and it didn't really turn out the way I was expecting it to. I kind of wish they had just stuck with the episode 3 appearance in Revenge of the Sith and just kind of molded it around that, maybe tweaked it a little bit because obviously it's a video game. It's never going to line up 100%, but I was kind of hoping it would look a little bit more like that. In terms of his skins and things, the regular skin looks really good. It's basically a complete take from episode 3 and it's going to be matching perfectly with that. And then you have his Jedi robe appearance, which is pretty good as well. There's nothing really that deters me away from these skins or that makes me want to talk badly about them. I think they both look really good. I'm going to stick with the default appearance for now, and hopefully we get a Clone Wars armored skin for Anakin soon, because you guys know how much I love the General Kenobi skin, and if they give it to Anakin, I will be rocking that all day, every day. Anyways, getting into his sounds, the voice lines are pretty good. You can tell that it is Matt Lanter, but I do think it sounds a little bit too deep. It's not quite what we're used to from the Clone Wars series, although this is after when that was set, so maybe it's sort of as Anakin matures, his voice matures with him and gets kind of a bit deeper. Maybe this next season of the Clone Wars that's coming out later this year, that's how he's gonna sound, and they wanted to get a head start on that and make him sound like that for Battlefront 2. That's the only thing I can think of, because if you had him in studio and you had the right tools to do it, you would just make him sound identical to the Clone Wars. So in my opinion, I think they might be trying to base it off what he could sound like in season 7 of the Clone Wars animated series. Let's get into his abilities now, and obviously Anakin is the first hero in Battlefront 2 to have 4 abilities. The first one being Passionate Strike. This is pretty much a powerful swing that can break through the block of another lightsaber. This comes in handy a lot of the times in Heroes vs Villains. I've found that you can use his pull ability to get the enemy near you, and then you can use the Passionate Strike to break through their block, because if someone gets yanked towards another player, usually the first instinct is to block so they can't follow up. So this is a definite good combination for those of you that are playing Heroes vs Villains with Anakin in the coming weeks. His second ability, Heroic Might, is probably my favorite ability out of all 4 of them. This is the right ability on your controller or on your PC, depending what you're playing on. And basically for this time, Anakin gets a 90% damage reduction while it is charging up, and then he bursts out a force energy all the way around him in a 360-degree circle. This is ridiculous. I had a 10-man kill with one use of this ability earlier today, and it's absolutely incredible. The 90% damage reduction, you don't realize just how much this is affected. I took next to no damage and I wiped out half of the enemy team just by using this ability once. So make sure you guys that are playing against an Anakin keep this in mind. If you are shooting Anakin while he is charging this ability, it is going to do more damage when he bursts out that force energy, and you are going to be in for a lot of trouble. Anakin can wipe heroes from pretty much full health with this ability, so make sure you're being careful and don't shoot him while you see him charging this up. The third ability is the one I mentioned before, which is Pull Dominance. This is quite good. It's similar to Kylo's Force Pull, where Anakin yanks an enemy towards him. This is great for closing the gap on enemies or pulling heroes towards you to set them up for a Passionate Strike, like I mentioned a minute ago. Good overall move. Doesn't do too much damage, doesn't do no damage either, which we had an issue with Kylo's for a while, but it's definitely a solid ability and something that can help out. The only thing I would suggest is if this was moved to L1 to line up with Kylo Ren's pull ability, and maybe make Heroic Might the L1 and R1 or middle ability. I think that's something that a few people have mentioned or would like to see, so maybe DICE will look to switch it around, because we did get a switch around on Obi-Wan's abilities earlier in the year, so maybe they can do it for Anakin. And of course, the 4th ability, Retribution. Now this is a passive ability that can be activated manually. Basically the way it works is the passive part of it is it builds up the more damage Anakin takes or his teammates around him take, and once you get there you can press triangle to activate it once fully charged, and he will basically force choke everyone in a 360-degree radius around him, and pretty much it does a lot of damage. You can wipe out enemy squads really easily with this, and if you get a hero caught in it, the amount of time that it lasts for is ridiculous. They definitely made Anakin the most powerful hero in the game, and those of you that are looking out for another top 10 hero list, Anakin's going to be number 1. So I don't know if I'll even do one because it's pretty much going to be the same list as before, and then just put Anakin at the top. So I might do it, I might not. Let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd want to see, and see where the rankings are, because the heroes did get some changes as well. Kylo got a buff and things like that, so I may look to do another one in the future. Anyways, Anakin's strengths are pretty much all around. His lightsaber swings do 140 damage before equipping star cards, and then they get bonus damage output on star card equips as well. He starts off with 800 base HP and can get like 200 or 250 bonus HP, so he's going to be at 1000 HP once we get the cards to purple or epic level, so he is definitely an absolute animal. His abilities are perfectly suited for GA and heroes vs villains. The damage reduction that comes with heroic impact and retribution make it great for Galactic Assault because you can just charge into an enemy team, activate these abilities, and clear out entire rooms. As far as heroes vs villains goes, his ability to break blocks on lightsabers is probably the perfect thing that we needed in terms of lightsaber combat. One of the most frustrating things is swinging away at someone that's blocking and not being able to get through. This ability makes it perfect, and the fact that it knocks down the enemy as well just makes it all the more sweeter when you follow up for those counter strikes. Now, getting into the negatives of Anakin, there isn't a whole lot to talk about. It's mainly just a couple of smaller bugs that I've experienced while playing him. The first one being that you lose the ability to block after using heroic might. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally in heroes vs villains it did happen to me last night. I don't know if it's just for Anakin, because I have heard reports of other players getting it for different heroes like Luke and Obi-Wan and Count Dooku, so I don't think it's just him. I think it's an overall lightsaber blocking issue, but I definitely noticed it happen to me a few times after using the heroic might ability, so just be aware guys when you are using this that this could happen to you. The second thing is that he gets stuck in the heroic might animation. There were a few moments on stream last night where I was holding R1 and basically Anakin just stayed in that pose where he's charging up heroic might. This is something that's okay because he takes the 90% damage reduction, but if you get completely stuck there and you can't move, then you're probably going to end up dying anyway, even if it does take the enemy team a long time. And it's pretty funny because they're swinging away at you while you're stuck with 90% damage reduction. And the last thing that I noticed isn't really a big deal either, but some players don't always get affected by the retribution ability, which is of course his fourth ability. When Anakin force chokes the people around him, some continue to run straight through it. Now, this isn't the worst thing in the world, but if that person running through that doesn't get caught does notice that you're doing this, they can pretty much have easy shots at your head, and even with the 90% damage reduction, it may take a little bit out of your health. So just be aware that these abilities aren't working 100%. I'm sure the team at DICE has probably heard these things, and a few of us have tweeted about them and stuff like that, so I'm sure they're working on a hot fix to try and get it worked out and sorted so that we don't experience these issues for too long. But if you guys want to get these fixed as soon as possible, make sure you share this video around as well, and hopefully it does get spotted by the right people and we can get these fixes ASAP in order to keep the gameplay flowing nicely. Especially the one where you lose the ability to block. I think that could be a massive game breaking issue in heroes vs villains if it does go on too long and people start to figure out what triggers that, because if they do figure it out, then they can pretty much just abuse it and win a lightsaber fight every single time. So let's get them sorted ASAP. Tweet at the team at DICE and send them this video if you guys need to, so they're aware of all the issues if they aren't already. So to summarize, basically guys, Anakin is an absolute beast. Those of you that haven't got the chance to play him, I absolutely recommend unlocking him right away and jumping in. Doesn't matter if you're playing Heroes vs Villains, Galactic Assault, or even just arcade mode. He is a ton of fun. I know on the stream last night I played him in arcade for a little while before jumping into Heroes vs Villains, but he dominates anywhere you go. Jump in HVV if you want to level him up quickly, and you will get those star cards to max level very soon. I'm working on it now. I've got him at blue, so he's over level 12 now, so I can get the third rare level cards, and I'm working on my way to epic. So I just wanted to get this review out there for you guys and give you my first sort of impressions. I will look to do a more detailed hero guide on him once I've got some more gameplay, but I hope you guys enjoyed the footage in the background and my thoughts on Anakin Skywalker. As always, I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack that thumbs up, and let's go for 300 likes on this video. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here now, so thank you so much again. I will see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you always.
The Sith